Let's bring you some business news now then on the programme. And Asian markets rebounding, in fact, spurred by fresh records on Wall Street. Investors, though, were still pretty jittery, really, about the global economic impact of the coronavirus outbreak. China's starting to get back up to speed after that forced extension to the Lunar New Year holiday due to the outbreak. Japan's Nikkei, as you can see, closed for a holiday, but right up across the board, especially there on the Hang Seng in Hong Kong, up by 1.4%. Now, having sealed a Phase 1 trade deal with China in January, the US President Donald Trump says that his administration will now turn its attention to stall talks with the European Union. The Trump administration has threatened to impose tariffs on European cars if it doesn't agree to better trading terms. Washington has also imposed tariffs on goods including French wine and Italian cheese, and a separate dispute over subsidies, and has threatened more tariffs on French luxury products over a plan to tax digital giants.
Over the last 10, 12 years, there's been a tremendous deficit with Europe. They have barriers that are incredible. I didn't want to do them while we were doing China, Japan, South Korea. I didn't want to do the whole world at one time.
Now, 4 members of the Chinese military have been charged with being behind one of the largest hacks in history, one that led to the release of personal information of tens of millions of Americans in 2017. The US Justice Department says investigations into the break-in of computer networks of the Equifax credit reporting agency have proved conclusive. It is the latest in a series of accusations against Chinese hackers, as Luke Schrager reports.
It took 2 years of investigation, but the US Justice Department has finally revealed who was behind one of the largest data breaches in history.
I'm here to announce the indictment of Chinese military hackers, specifically 4 members of the Chinese People's Liberation Army, for breaking into the computer systems of the credit reporting agency Equifax. The hackers obtained the names, birth dates, and social security numbers of nearly 150 million Americans.
Them and more besides. Around 1 million British and Canadian citizens also had their information swept up in the hack 3 years ago. It led Equifax to make a $700 million settlement last year with affected consumers after it transpired it had failed to fix a known security issue the hackers exploited to gain access. The firm harbours huge amounts of consumer data it sells to businesses seeking to verify identities or assess creditworthiness. US authorities traced the hack through dozens of servers in 20 countries back to China. And while the US won't be able to arrest those indicted, for authorities, it serves as a warning.
Confronting this threat effectively does not mean we should not do business with China. What it does mean is that when China violates our criminal laws and international norms, we will not tolerate it, and we will hold them accountable for it.
The US has blamed several previous hacks on China, including one in 2015 on the US Office of Personnel Management that led to fears of Beijing using the information to unmask undercover US spies.
That's all the business news for you on France 24.